Hey Crash Coursers, what's up? It's your host Penelope Luna, and today we're going to be talking about how the Islamic Empire, the Mongols, and the Black Death had things in common. Now I know you're probably wondering how do they have things in common? Well, stay tuned to find out. So, my thesis is that the Islamic Empire was a great, powerful empire. The Mongols were ruthless horsemen, and the Black Death, one of the largest pandemics in the world, all have three things in common, which are religion, death, and the Silk Road. Well, to make this short, the Islamic Empire began in 1633 after Muhammad's death, which is the founder of Islam, and some of the main people you need to know are like the Umayyads, which focused on wealth and power, and then they were slaughtered. And one of them escaped, Abd al-Rahman, and he set a Muslim capital in Spain. Then you have the Abbasids, which toppled the Umayyads, and they made from Damascus to Baghdad. They had no, sorry, the So the previous capital was Damascus. They changed that to Baghdad. There they had a lot of trades, goods, golds, and information, and a bureaucracy. The Muslims really supported learning. The arts and sciences just flourished, and they just flourished. They had learning, study, like the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. It was just a great time for them. The Sunni and Shia were the two major groups. So the Sunni was way higher than the Shia. Like they were the main. They believed that the ruler should be a follower of Muhammad's ideas, while the Shia disagreed and said it should be a descendant of Muhammad's bloodline. A little bit more about what you should know is that the Ottomans were Ghazis of Islam. Osman began the Ottoman Empire, and he had dramatic expansion, and they had customs of killing or exiling ableist sons and brothers. And then we have the Safavids, which were open to new ideas and willing to adapt and change. They had their industry, art, and trade just flourish, but then they were conquered by the Ottomans. Next, we have the Mongols. While the Mongols were skilled nomadic archers and horsemen, and they were united by 1206 by Genghis Khan, also known as Genghis Khan. He was a brilliant organizer, gifted strategist, and used cruelty as a weapon, which kind of got their point across. They did assimilation, which built a permanent empire, and his great grandson, Kublai Khan, promoted Taoism and separated the empire into four khanates. And the Mongols and the Silk Road had a little bit of history together, and they secured the trade routes and safety of merchants. They helped spread the disease of the Black Death. Good job to them. And basically, their fall was that the Chinese rebellion overthrew the Mongols, and the Mongols' rule collapsed in the 1300s. And there we have a picture of the Khanates and, all sorts. Then we have the Black Death. Horrible, horrible, horrible. A lot of people died. Between 75 and 200 million people died, and it was spread by rats, and fleas, and buboes, and welts on the lymph glands happened, black sores. This caused significant religious, economic, and social impact. The symptoms would last between 1 to 7 days: chills, diarrhea, vomiting, aches, and pains, ultimately death. Unless you were super duper lucky, but probably not. And yeah. But doctors decided these were some good methods to heal, which were draining blood, cutting boils, and burning herbs. Absurd, right? But sadly, people were abandoned by their families, and doctors and priests refused to help them. They thought this was a punishment from God, and they inflicted self-punishment wounds. They persecuted heretics like the ones listed there. What they all have in common is religion, the Silk Road, and death. So religion was seen in all three. In the Black Death, they believed God was punishing them. They persecuted heretics, and in the Islamic Empire, they were super duper religious, and they accepted all religions and protected the people of the book. And the Mongols really promoted Taoism by Kublai Khan and were accepting and willing to adapt to all religions. And like in all three religion has some sort of significance in them and really a main component in it. The Silk Road was a big network of trade, and also in the Black Death it was a big network where the plague was easy to spread to everywhere. Am I right? And the Islamic Empire traded spices for silk on this Silk Road, and the Mongols secured the Silk Road trade routes and helped the spreading of the disease, essentially. If the Mongols and the Islamic and the Muslims in the Islamic Empire didn't trade on this, there probably wouldn't be no Black Death. You know what I mean? And finally, we have one of, to me, the most important ones, in my opinion, was death. Death was literally everywhere. In every single thing you learn about in history, death was somehow there. In the Islamic Empire, they killed their sons and brothers, which led to the fall, and they slaughtered the Umayyads because they weren't happy with what they were doing. And in the Mongol Empire, they were just ruthless people, and they slaughtered anything and anyone in their way who resisted to being conquered. And in the Black Death, well, it says it in the name, death. It killed so many people and had horrible symptoms, which is really just terrible, you know? And in conclusion, the Mongol Empire, the Islamic Empire, and the Black Death all had things in common that you couldn't really imagine if you just thought about it off the top of your head. You kind of like had to do some critical thinking, you know? Like today we can see these lasting effects that all three have on us. We learn about these to educate ourselves and learn from our mistakes and not repeat this history again. Well, thank you for watching my crash course video. Bye.